Thanks again for tuning in today. It's so nice to see you all come up in the chat. Just a few announcements before I get started. So we're switching over to the Zoom app through the Mind Body app. So you'll be able to take your classes at Breathe Together Yoga through Zoom. The schedule is on the website, and the classes will now turn into something that's behind a paywall. So if you have a membership at Breathe, you just attend as many as you want, and if you don't, you can buy a class pack or you can do a drop-in. I have a workshop coming up on April 26th that I'm going to do with a small group via Zoom. It's on spine, the spine, health of the spine, and also anatomy of the spine. So we'll nerd out a little bit on anatomy. We'll learn about the central nervous system, communication with the spine, and we'll do a bunch of different practices that have to do with movement of the spine and keeping it healthy. Today's word for the challenge is equanimity, which translates to mean, and it's the last day of the challenge, and this word, it translates to mean evenness, or a sense of evenness, even when things are difficult, when you're in a difficult time. And I woke up to some really sad news this morning that one of my aunts has died from COVID-19. She's in New York. She was very old, and she's living in a nursing home. And, you know, her situation is characterized by so many situations at this time. Elderly, compromised immunity, and getting sick. And so it's been kind of difficult to find that sense of equanimity today in light of just receiving this news a few hours ago. And it's incredibly sad. One of the things that is both heartwarming and heartbreaking about the situation is that she was living in a nursing home, and the medical staff, they brought her bed over to the window so that her kids could come and say goodbye to her as they gave her morphine and made her comfortable as she transitioned. And I found that to be really heartwarming that the staff would go to that length to support the family structure, but also heartbreaking that they couldn't be there to hold her hand. So it's a time of sorrow for me today. When I think about this practice of equanimity, there are 4 Brahma Viharas in the Buddhist thinking. And the 4 are loving kindness, compassion, appreciative joy, and then this practice of equanimity. In Buddhism, they call them the 4 divine abodes, the 4 states of abiding in the divine. And equanimity translates to mean evenness, like I said, especially during difficulty. But what it doesn't mean is indifference. And I think we can get confused sometimes with that if we're even, that we're indifferent to what's happening around us. And it's not a practice of pushing things away or trying to eclipse what is going on for you with escaping. And we have so many ways we escape, right? So we have all these distractions. It could be social media, it could be hyperproductivity, food, drugs, sex, Netflix. I mean, there's so many ways to do this dance of escapism. But what equanimity asks is for inclusivity, to embrace anything that's arriving for you. And that could be pain, and that could be joy. And so it's to deeply know that both of these states are inherently present in life, and to be able to hold both of them. And so that's my work for today. And when I think about holding both joy and pain, I think about how vast of a container you really need. You need quite a large and quite a structurally sound container in order to hold these things. So today, in this practice, I guess the question becomes, how can you create a more vast container? So you can create enough of an energetic shift that diffuses, at least for me, that's going to diffuse this feeling of spinning or reveling in what's happening, in the sadness, and let that subside to give way to this feeling of great spaciousness. So I really do thank you for being here with me today. You're helping me as much as I may be helping you. And I take refuge in being able to teach at this time. To begin, why don't you come down onto your back, lie back, and go into Shavasana. So we'll start and we'll end in the same position. I'll stay seated just so my sound is good, but you lie down. And when you get there, let your eyes close, turn your palms so they face up. Bring a feeling of resting to the body. Maybe that's a feeling of heaviness, or maybe you invite that idea of spaciousness in. And then feel the edges of your body, so you can feel where there's the skin that's containing you. And then as you cultivate a deeper breath, you're breathing out into those edges. So expanding outward with your inhalation. And drawing more inward with your exhalation. And as you're breathing, think about that you can use the breath to actually make the container more vast. So you breathe more space inside of your body. Then begin to add the boundary of ujjayi to the breath. So creating that cylinder-like form in the throat that wraps the breath. Cultivate a deep ujjayi breath. Feeling that expansion to your outer edges when you breathe in. And then the drawing inward to the deep seat as you breathe out. Take your hands to your mid-thigh, and then can you slide them high up the thighs to where the hip creases are. Then push forward into the thigh bones with your hands. So you make a little space down in your hip joints. And move through supine cow and cat. So when you inhale, arch up away from the ground with your lower back. And then exhale, scoop the tailbone underneath you, pull the navel down. Do that a few times. So breathing in, pubic bone reaches forward and down. And when you exhale, tailbone hooks under and up. With every breath in, you make space under the low back. And with every breath, you negate that space. You press the low back wide into the floor. One last time. Keep low back wide into the floor. Right leg, or left leg rather, long. Right leg into you. Interlace right behind your right thigh. Get a good hold on your thigh. Flex the foot so the heel presses away and the toes reach towards you. When you breathe in, straighten your leg 3/4 of the way, or maybe even all the way straight. And when you breathe out, drag the heel down towards the sitting bone. Do this a few times so we pump the knee joint. And we fill it with fluid, synovial fluid, which is like the oil of the joint, which allows the joint to feel more spacious, less constricted. Last one, right leg. Now release the interlace, right leg long. Do left leg, same thing, hug it in close. Interlace behind the thigh. Use breath to animate you. Spacious inhale to extend the knee. And long, smooth exhale to close the joint. Of bending and straightening. One last time, left leg. Hug that leg in. Join the right one in that embrace as well. Right knee held in right hand, left knee held in left hand. Move side to side. Place your feet once again on the floor and take your arms, reach them to the ceiling and bend at the wrist so it's like the heels of your hands can push into whatever's above you. And then can you turn your fingers in towards each other so that the middle fingers point together. Now push your arm bones, reach through the heels of your hands until you feel your shoulder blades lift off the ground behind you. A little bit of a dome of your upper back. Keep that heel of hand pushing, draw your rib cage down, and then float your legs up to a tabletop. Keep pushing through the heels of the hands so you encourage that spread, that widening, that space in the upper back. And breathe here. Take another few breaths, dragging your armpits down towards your hips while you reach your arm bones long, almost like out of socket. And we wake up the serratus anterior muscle. It's a big bracing muscle for our body. Last breath. And hug the knees in. Right arm overhead, roll onto your right side. Find your way up to tabletop. Go to hands and knees. When you arrive there, wrists on your shoulders, knees under hips, and then move your hips in a giant circular pattern. So the hip joints are also fluid joints, synovial, and this encourages that hydration. Circle back the other way, so same amount of times, just the opposite direction. Then bring it all the way around to the center, hands and knees. Now the knees step back, prepping for the first down dog. Draw the navel in, tuck the toes under, push forward and away through your hands as you lift your hips up and back. Allow the head to release. You can do this posture with straightish legs or bent knees. Then allow for some swaying through the hips. So leaning the pelvis to the right and leaning the pelvis to the left. Now find the center. Thigh bones press back, sit bones towards each other. Take a breath all the way in. Exhale and walk up, bring your feet to your hands. When you inhale, lift halfway and lengthen spine away from sitting bones. Then exhale and bow back in. Ride the waves of your breath 2 more times. Inhale, front spine lengthens, back spine follows. Exhale, fold. 1 more, breathe spaciously. Hands to hips now. Press feet, rise all the way up. And find your way into your mountain pose. Feet can be close or at hips distance apart. Palms facing forward. Close the horizon line of your eyes. And join the hands together in this samasthiti, this equal standing. a representation of this idea of equanimity, evenness. Breathing spaciously into the lungs. And feel your feet and where you are right now in this very moment. And join me if you'd like in the chanting of the Om one time. Exhale fully. And draw a breath all the way in. Release the hands. Allow your eyes to receive light. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach the arms and lift your eyes. Exhale and bow forward. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, step back. Keep exhaling, lower the knees for the first one and come all the way down. Pelvis presses, legs reach back. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Set your eyes on a single point and allow the eyes to grow spaciously. So rather than zeroing in like a laser on that one space you're looking at, think of widening the eyes. And keep the periphery of your vision wide. Take breath all the way in. Exhale, knees bend, eyes look. Inhale, step or lightly jump. Keep inhaling, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up and reach. Exhale, returning to mountain, standing evenly. Again, inhale, reach the arms. Exhaling, bow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back. Keep exhaling, go down, and maybe chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing. In this down dog, set the eyes and do the widening of the eyes, but turn your toes out and your heels in. Breathe here. Now bring the feet back to parallel. Take a breath all the way in. Exhale, crouch low. Look forward at where you want to go. Inhale, go there. Keep inhaling, half lifted. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up and reach. Exhale, mountain, return. Last one. Breathe in, reach. Breathe out and bow. Inhaling, elongate. Exhale, step or jump back. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward dog. In this one, can you turn your toes in and your heels out? So that internal rotation of your leg bones. Breathe here. Spacious eyes. Bring the feet back to parallel. Take breath all the way in. Exhaling, crouch, look. Inhale, go. Keep inhaling, half lifted. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach all the way. And exhaling, return to mountain. Go wide-footed, wide stance, outer edge of the mat, shoulder stretch, reach back, interlace your hands. Inhale, shoulder blades tack together, chest and eyes lift. Exhale, bow forward, bend knees any amount. Head hangs, arms go up and over. So making space in the shoulder joints, pinky side of the hands reaching over towards whatever's in front of you. While you're folded, turn your feet out just a tiny little bit. So you can think of that as toes out or heels in. Begin to add mini squatting. So when you breathe in, sink your hips down. And when you exhale, straighten the legs a bit. Now you decide how low you go in the squat. So temper it to what you have going on with your hips and hamstrings today. Come towards straightish legs, touch floor with hands, make your way back to downward dog. And when you get there, reach through the arms and legs like you're stretching your bones longer. Use breath in, right leg lifts up and back. Exhale, right foot forward. Fingertips ground, legs squeeze, crown of head reaching forward. Add the arms reaching forward as well. Stay low for now. Keep the length of the side body, push feet, rise up to high lunging. Tailbone down, belly scoops up, you may bend your back knee to achieve that. The eyes stay wide and think of the body widening. From here, turn your back foot down, create warrior two. You may need to make the stance a bit longer. And the arms reach out like they could go forever. And taking one or two more breaths, just resting or sitting in this pose. Now add a forward lean. Extended side angle, hands to floor or elbow to thigh, top arm over. Lift the left side of your rib cage up. Front knee over front heel. Find that. Touch down, turn the back heel up, lower the back knee to the ground, pull back, runner stretch. Crown reaching away from sit bones. Then begin to add turn out and turn in. So just like you pivoted your feet in your downward facing dog, it's that same action, but it's smoother. It's like a rotation of the thigh bone inside of the hip socket. Go into the turned out position. Feel the great length along the outer line of your right leg. Take a couple breaths there. And then bring it back to right foot pointing straight up and down. Bend the front knee, hands ground, lift the back knee, down dog step. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, stretch the front of you. Exhale, fold back, down dog. Use the breath in, left leg up, back. Exhaling, left foot through. Fingertips, hips held, crown reaching, arms reaching. Side body stays long, rise up, high lunging. Tailbone down, belly and pubic bone up. And you stretch out through the skin of your body, like your inner body is getting more spacious, like the skin can barely contain you. Warrior two, turn the back foot down, widen the stance as needed, drop into it, eyes forward. And this feeling of reaching out forever. And then add some reaching out. Extended side angle pose, hands to floor or elbow to thigh. Top one reaching, lift the right side of the ribs. Front knee, heel bone connection. Look down, touch down, back heel lifts, back knee to the floor. Runner stretch or half Hanuman's pose. Take a breath or two, crown reaching away from sit bones. And then begin to add that rolling of the thigh bone, out and in. The knee and foot follow. Go into the externally rotated, toes pointed out to the left position. Take a few breaths there. And then back to heel down, toes up, bend the front knee, ground the hands, lift the back knee, down dog step. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend, reach the toes. Exhale, downward dog. Then take breath in, lift right leg up, back behind you. As you exhale, right foot steps forward, it pulls forward. When you get there, take a look way back at your back foot and turn that back foot in and down on an angle. Keep the lunge of your front leg. Warrior one, rise up, start hands to hips. Tailbone down, pubic bone up, find that, and then add the arms. Breathing spaciously, and that feeling of like the inner body growing so big that the skin can barely contain you. Now reach back and take an interlace of your hands, just like we did in shoulder stretch. Knuckles down, inhale, chest, eyes, lift. Exhale, fold, humble warrior, right to the inside of your right leg. Pinky side of your hands up and over. Touch the ground, both hands. Turn the back heel, lift it. Walk the arms forward, standing split. Stand on the right leg, lift the left leg. Hips held again, so you're squeezing in almost like you're holding a ball between your inner upper thighs and fold. Now elongate the spine. Bend your left knee so the heel points up to the ceiling. Can you bring your hands together in prayer? This weird version of Warrior 3. Now travel that left knee all the way to standing. Tree pose. So you take your left knee out to the side. Either grab or don't, put the foot against the inner leg. Find the centralization to the middle of the body. And from there, explore that widening, becoming a bigger container. Bring your hands together in prayer. Draw your right knee forward. We're going back out the way we came in. Softly bend the right knee, reach back and up through the sole of the left foot. Straighten the left leg. Bend the right knee even more, touch, hands to the ground, down dog. Vinyasa here, or stay in dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhaling, upward facing. Exhaling, downward facing. Left leg lifts with in-breath. When you exhale, left foot through. Look back at the right foot, turn it in and down. Check in with the front leg, it's still in the lunge. Rise up, hands to hips, prep for warrior one. Do that work of tailbone long, pubic bone up. Reach vertical. And then humbling this posture, reach back, interlace. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bow right inside the left knee. Arms tap up and over. Now touch ground. Turn the back heel so it elevates. Walk forward, standing split. Left leg is your standing leg, right leg is the lifted leg. Take a bow. From here, elongate spine so you can see what's forward. Bend your right leg so that the sole of the foot's reaching up to the sky. You may bend the left leg a little. Weird warrior three. Bring your hands together in prayer. Travel the right knee all the way through to standing. Tree pose, other side. Take your right knee out to the right side. Bring the sole of the foot against the thigh. Foot into leg, leg into foot. Find that sense of the center. Right side pulls left, left side pulls right. And reach up. So the wide eyes are set on a single point. And then we reverse right out of this. Hands come back to prayer. Draw the right knee forward. Bend the left knee a little as you extend back through that awkward warrior three. Straighten the right leg. Tap down with the back toes. Hands to the ground. Downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale and back bend. Exhale and downward facing. Set the knees wide. Stretch back, child's pose. 400 easy. So again, come to this idea of breathing to your outer edges. Like the breath could touch the skin. This idea of creating more space from the inside out, just by the rhythm of breath. From here, rise to table, to all fours. And when you get there, can you lay your forearms on the ground parallel to each other? And then recall that idea of doming the upper back from the beginning of class. You press your forearms into the ground and you pull your chest away from your elbow creases. Extend your right leg back with the toes under, left leg back with the toes under, drop the hips, tailbone long, pubic bone scoots to chest, forearm plank. And take one more breath. Then let the knees come down. Walk them forward a few paces. Push back, child's pose. Take a breath here. Walk the hands back towards you enough that your chest, head, neck, shoulders is lifted. Sit up and tuck your toes underneath back there, and then sit back into a squat. So in this squat, your knees are wide, but your big toes are touching each other. So this is like a butterfly version of a squat. And then go forward, reach your arms forward, look to your own navel, and round. Then change the direction your eyes are looking. So instead of back towards your navel, look forward towards your thumbs. Drag your arms in a little bit. Can you get the forearms onto the floor? Once the forearms go on the floor, you can stay here working this tiny little seed-like version of a squat, or you can come into little dirty bird crow. So you bring yourself forward, the knees wrap around the upper arms, shoulders go to wrist creases, point your toes back, float your nose a half inch away from the ground. One more breath if you're still up there. Tuck the toes under, push back to that butterfly squat, walk it forward. So try one more time doing the really low, little tiny baby version of crow. Or if you don't feel confident with that one, you can practice coming to Bakasana. So the hips will lift, work the knees into the arms. Move forward till you've got shoulders over wrist creases and pull the feet up. Breathe into the container, breathe out to the skin. One more breath. If you'd like, chaturanga from here, upward facing, downward facing. Take several breaths in down dog. Then breathe spaciously, full inhale. Exhale, crouch and look. Inhale and come through to seated. Take your legs out in front of you. I'm going to turn forward just so you can see what's happening. Both legs start extended out. Without using your hands, bend your right knee towards you. Then grab your ankle, pull your heel really close to your right sit bone. Left arm wraps the leg, right arm goes behind you. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist, chest and eyes facing back to the right. So when you're in this pose, notice there's a part of the trunk that feels compressed. It does not feel like a very big container. Can you consciously send your breath into that place? Now use in-breath, eyes forward, and exhale, unwind your spine. Head to knee forward bend. So without touching, take the knee to the side and heel toe the foot till it's against your inner leg. Pelvis facing forward, pubic bones squared forward. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe into the back of the spine. And use breath to lengthen. Exhale, rise. Without using your hands to finagle it, switch your legs. So the right one goes long. The left knee steps back. Then that last little inch, you can drag your heel close to sit bone. Right arm wraps, left arm behind you. Inhale, find up. And exhale, find the turn. So feel into the place that feels compressed or like where the container is lacking. And you breathe into that space and you make the container more full. And breath in, eyes forward. Breath out to unwind. Sole of the foot against the inside of the leg. Do it without grabbing and dragging. And find your up. And then cast like you're casting a line out and over, forward and down. Coming into head to knee forward bend. Send the breath way into the back part of your spine. Like where the bones meet the skin. Use breath in to lengthen, and when you exhale, rise all the way. Make your way onto your back. Knees bent for now, soles of the feet grounded. Left leg long, right knee hugs in. Interlace your hands like you did at the beginning of class, right around the back of the right thigh. Send the leg up. It'll probably go up with much more ease. Now you can do a few things for this next movement. You can bend your knee a little bit if needed, or take a hold of the right big toe with your right index middle finger. You may need to bend the knee there, or keep it straight. Left arm off to the side. Take breath in. As you exhale, turn the foot out to the side. Open the leg out to the side. This may be done with a bent knee. Can you cast your eyes off to the left hand? Now slowly bring head and eyes back to center with the leg traveling back. Bend the knee, half happy baby. You can switch the grip to the pinky toe side of the foot now. Draw the right heel in and stretch the right leg long. Feeling into the discrepancy between leg length, and we'll now even that out. Left knee comes in towards you. Interlace and send the leg out. Reach up, left index middle finger wraps around the left big toe. You may need to bend the knee in order to get that grab. Right arm to cactus or like a T. With leg straight or knee bent, pivot the foot and hip out to the side. Open the leg out to the side. Set your eyes across. And bring everything back to the middle. Bending left knee, happy baby, hold pinky toe side of the foot. Allow the hip joint to become spacious and soft. Then draw the heel in and let the leg go. Coming to the final pose, the most important one, Shavasana. Allow yourself to arrive in this posture. This is the pose at the end. Marks the end of the cycle. The end of one cycle is often the beginning of something new. As you rest, bring awareness to the breath and allow it to become more delicate and gentle. So you transition from that big, spacious breathing and bring a feeling of dissolving to the body. Thinking of that phrase, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The dissolving of our form. Dissolving into the most vast container that there is. Consciousness. Let go of any holding on. Now bringing awareness back. Begin to breathe more fully. Like you can breathe yourself back into fullness. And from that dissolved place, breathe back into the lines of your body, calling yourself back. And take the arms, reach them up, over, away from the extended legs, full stretch. The stretch is like a remembering that we're here, and we're awake, and we're very much alive. Bend one knee at a time, and then roll onto your side. From there, press down into the ground. Lift yourself to seated. Close your eyes. Join your hands in this gesture of equanimity. And may all beings everywhere be happy and joyous and free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings everywhere be healthy and strong in their bodies, their minds, and their hearts. May all beings everywhere feel safe and secure in the world that surrounds them. And may all beings everywhere feel loved and cared for. We'll close with the sound of the Om one time. Exhale fully. Take breath in. May the merits of this practice that we've done here today benefit all beings everywhere. Namaste.